Welcome to ESL Trackside. As we getting ready set for week 4, we are currently at Indianapolis Speedway for our first road course of the season for the Next Gen Series. I'm extremely excited to see what happens on the road course. As we know, road courses can get a little nuts. A lot can happen. It usually shakes up the standings, but we'll see what we have in store this week for the Next Gen Series on the road course. So let's go around the league and see what happened in week 3 in modifieds. In modifieds, we had Aaron Go Bragg. He won in modifieds. That is a team generic driver. Teams are allowed to have 2 of these drivers if they can't fill spots. So that is a team generic driver, and he took the W home. So generics do matter. Um, and it gives K&M Racing a W, and it put some money in their bankroll. So um, they're trying to put together that team, put the pieces together, continue building. It'll take some time, but I know they will get there. In late models, we had Devontae Wilkins. He won back to back. His car has been on rails lately. He's won 2 out of 3 races. He's letting everybody know, hey, I want this late model championship. So if he keeps that up, he's gonna be on track. I mean, it's still early. A lot can happen, but right now he's definitely on fire, and he's definitely looking to get a 3rd win. We'll see if he could do it this week. For ARCA, it was Tazzy Blackwell. She wins at Kansas. She had a pretty strong race. Congrats to her on her first win of the season, and hopefully many more for that low fuel racing team. And next gen was a wild race. Um, Kyle Storm, he secures a playoff spot. That's huge for that team. But I think the real story in that race was Andrew Green. Man, that setup on that car was amazing. It was extremely fast in the first 2 stages. But then the 3rd stage came right before the 3rd stage starts. All the cars going to pit road, and Andrew Green's pit crew just has such a bad spot, such a bad stop. They pitted. They lost 5 positions after the pit, so that really hurt that team. And he was just never the same after that, unfortunately. So, you know, if he would have just came out and first in that race, after that pit, I really think he would have won that race. So it's unfortunate, but that's how racing goes. Sometimes it's a team effort. Even if you're having a good race, that pit crew has to come through for you. If they don't, on a crucial spot of the race like that, that can cost you a win. And we saw that last week. So I'm sure this week they're gonna try to limit those type of mistakes. So we'll see what happens this week. In multi-class A in the LMPs, Rodden, he won. Andrew Green also had a win in the Porsche 911, I want to say. No, sorry, it wasn't Porsche 911. It was the GTE. Andrew Green wins there. In the GT3, Bobby Leo Moxon, he wins in the GT3, and another generic team driver wins. In this case, it was for the Desperado race team. So that was your 4 winners for multi-class A. For multi-class B, in the supercars, it was Noble. He takes the win in supercars. And Travis Artho, he wins in the Brazil stock cars, and Ace Blade finally gets a win in the touring cars. We know he has a fast car, and he finally put together a race with limited mistakes, and it shows when he has a race with limited mistakes, he comes out on top almost every time. So that's something to look for this week. Can he keep having a clean race and come out with another victory? For the Oval Team standings, we have Low Fuel Racing. They are in the lead. They have three wins on the season in total. They're up by 91 points. And second is Northern Lights Racing. They're in second with 2 wins. The Brew Crew is third with 2 wins. Fourth is Desperado Racing. They have not won in any oval series yet, so they're looking for their first victory this week. And fifth is Apex Predator Racing. They have 2 wins this season. They're off to not a hot start, but I'm sure they'll get things together. There's still plenty of time to go in the season. And 6 is DOG. They have 2 wins so far this season. And in 7th is Can-Am Racing with 1 win this season, which was in modifieds last week. So we'll see if they can get something going on that team. Let's check out the road standings. In the road standings, Low Fuel Racing is also in the lead in points, up by 30. They have 6 wins on the season. Second is Northern Lights Racing. They are in second. They're down by 30. Wait, they have 4 wins. Desperado Racing is third. They are down. They have 4 wins as well, and they've been looking good in the road series. So I'm sure they're looking to make some noise there. They're not down by a lot, only down by 39. Fourth is the Brew Crew. They're down 2 spots from last week. They have 2 wins on the season. Fifth, Apex Predator Racing. They have 3 wins on the season. And then we have DOG is in 6th. And Can-Am Racing is in 7th. So those are your team standings. And this week, for the first time, we have your team power rankings. These power rankings are made by Rhett Sawyer. He puts a lot of work into these, and I am grateful for the work he puts in. And he has a system in place, which you can see on our website. Kind of explains how he comes to these points, how he comes about the rankings. But basically, the lower the score, the stronger your team is. So as you can see in the oval rankings, we have Low Fuel Racing in first, Northern Lights second, Brew Crew is third, Desperado Racing is fourth, Apex Predator Racing is in fifth, Can-Am Racing sixth, DOG seventh. On the road side of things, Northern Lights Racing is first, Low Fuel Racing is second, Desperado Racing is third, the Brew Crew is fourth, Apex Predator Racing is fifth, DOG is sixth, and Can-Am Racing is seventh. As you can see, so far this season, it's been Northern Lights Racing and Low Fuel going back and forth in both sides of the rankings. So I see more of that to come, but I will not be surprised if the Brew Crew gets in the mix. Desperado Racing, even Apex Predator Racing. It's extremely early. We're only 3 races in. Um, we haven't even hit the quarter pole yet, which is after this week. So there's so much racing to go, and in this league, so much can happen. You know, one week you're on top, the next week you could everything just turns on a dime, and you're all of a sudden looking up at a leader. So you know, there's plenty of races left, and I know the teams put in the work. So we'll see how the weeks play out ahead. Let's go to the next gen driver power rankings. We have Andrew Green. He is number one on the power rankings for the Brew Crew. He is rated at a 91. Kenny Flores, he's been so consistent. He is second. He has had 4th-place finishes, 3 races in a row. So that shows you how consistent he has been. He's from Northern Lights Racing. He is rated at an 84. Lotus Lee from Low Fuel Racing. He has put together a solid start to the season. He is rated at a 73. Merle McGuire, a prior champion, he's 4th from the Brew Crew, rated at a 70. Robert Tibbs from Northern Lights Racing, he's rated at a 69. E. Weezy, Low Fuel Racing, rated at a 66. 7th, Kyle Storm, Low Fuel Racing, rated at a 64. 8th, Rooster Rodden, Low Fuel Racing, rated at a 63. 9th is Stefan Forge, Apex Predator Racing, rated at a 59. And Evan Ethel, Northern Lights Racing, he is rated at a 58. Sorry, his rating is wrong, but it is a 58, and he is at 10th. So if looking at this board, we have 2 Brew Crew drivers in here. We have 4 Low Fuel Racing drivers, 3 Northern Lights Racing drivers, um, and 1 Apex Predator Racing drivers. So there's a good mix here. Low Fuel Racing has been pretty strong. We'll see how it goes. This series is extremely competitive. So I see this board, I see these rankings switching week to week, to be honest. Usually the top drivers kind of hang around up top, but I see this shaking up almost every week. So this is where we stand for the top 10 drivers in the ESL Next Gen series. Let's see the schedule. Let's see what we have left here for the first 8 races. So week 1, Amelia Rose won at Daytona. Week 2, Merrill, he took week 2 at Martinsville. Week 3, Kyle Storm had a great stage 3. Took over the race after Andrew Green had that pit road mishap. So those 3 drivers have secured a playoff spot. And there's only 5 races left. So you got 5 more chances to get in by a win, or it's by points if you can't get a win. So who can win this week at the road course? We will see. Then we have Charlotte, a mile and a half. We have New Hampshire, a mile. Iowa is under a mile, 8/10. Um, and Auto Club at week 8. So not many more chances left to secure a playoff spot by a win. But you know, you just got to stay consistent. If you're not gonna, if your chances are slim of winning a race, then just try to finish in that top 15, top 10. You know, get as many stage points as you can, and hopefully you can get in by points. Stage points are huge. As of right now, CJ Slava, he is currently 17th in the standings, so he is 1 point out of if the playoffs were to start next week, CJ Slava is on the bubble. He would be, um, he wouldn't make the playoffs. So that just shows you how important points are to get in. Uh, the driver that's beating him is in 16th is Killmonger Vasquez. He has one extra stage point than CJ. So that just shows you how important stage points are. Every point counts. And that 1 point right now, you know, if the playoffs were to start next week, can cost you the playoffs. You know, so yeah, it's important to get these stage points if you want to have a chance to make the playoffs by points. I also added a new award, I want to call it. Um, it's called Driver of the Week. So every week I'm going to look and I'm going to see who had the best performance, who's kind of hot as far as, top fives, wins, all that stuff. And the driver of the week for week 3 was Devontae Wilkins from Northern Lights Racing. He's been hot. I mean, he's won 2 races out of the last 3. So he started the season on fire. Can he keep that up though is the question. But congrats to him. He's the driver of the week. He has put together uh, a great run these last few races. So we will see if he can keep that up. Now let's head back to the track and let's take a look at these lap times. As there's only a few minutes left in the practice session. As we see, Canny Flourish is leading the way on the fastest lap with a 1:28.866. He's definitely showing some speed at the road course. Second is JQ. Third is Joshua King. Fourth is E Weezy. Fifth is Brogan. Sixth is Tyler. That is 2 DOG drivers. So they're showing some speed. Seventh is Doug. Eighth is Evan. Ninth is Stefan. And 10th is CJ. So there are a few drivers that are showing some fast speeds at the road course. Can they have that same type of speed once the real race starts? We'll see. It's different when there's a 36 car field on the track and everybody's fighting for position. And again, what type of track do we get? Do we get a warm track, a cool track? It all depends. So we will see what week 4 brings. I'm excited for this race. I'm excited for all the races. The competition is fierce. And, we just had our first big progression week. And after the first big progression week, things really start shaking up. So we'll see how everything plays out. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate everyone supporting the show and supporting the league. I mean, without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. We've come a long ways, and I just see nothing but exciting things for the future in the league. So thanks for watching ESL Trackside. This has been JV. I will see you guys next time.